Well, Josh Silveira, what a crazy year it's been for you, right? I talked to you at the beginning of the year. You're not even in the PFL. You're just trying to get in, and now you're 2 fights away from $1 million, man. What is the feel like right now for you?
Man, the feel, of course. I'm focused. All that good stuff to get us, what we need to get done. But at the same time, I'm human too, bro. So it's a little bit of unreal. Like, is this life really my life? Like, wow, everything happened so fast, But I think um, that's the business that we're in, right? One day to another, a McGregor is born, a Sean O'Malley, or something where, like, maybe last week you're a nobody. Now this week, according to how it's presented, you're somebody. But you got to stay level minded, keep your head level headed. A fight's a fight, regardless. So, with all this great stuff happening, I'm trying to be in the middle still, and I have a great team to keep me there.
I love it, man. Much respect to that. Well, I know, like you said, it's all happening so fast. It seems wild, but your last performance against Martin Hamlet, I mean, that one had to give you some confidence to go like, hey, I definitely
Yeah.
belong here. I definitely can't compete with anybody in this division.
Yeah, man. I've always had that mentality. Prior to Martin Hamlin fight, ATT is the best guys in the world. So I'm always hoping if it's not Thiago Maheta, it's Johnny Eblin or Dalton Roster who just fought, or Christopher Jocko. I'm always dealing with these guys, and mad respect. I love everybody's greatness. I love every when they win. But at the same time, I always keep in the back of my head that I can compete with these guys. I could compete with these guys. I'm not that far off. It's just a record. It's just a number. Maybe I don't have as many fights as these guys, but I'm in there doing their training camps, doing their camps with them. So I always knew that this time was gonna come, and my team does a good job of doing the good timing. Maybe fighting Martin Hamlet 2 3 years back wasn't the best idea, but now we're right where we need to be. And I think it came out great.
Well, if you need proof of how deep American Top Team is, I mean, if anybody's a fan of the sport, but just to go ahead and show it, the reason you're in is because American Top Team's Antonio Carlos Jr. can't compete, so you're taking his
Yeah.
spot. And I kind of what you felt about that, right? Like in a weird way, like I mean, you got to be happy for yourself. This is an individual sport, but it's got to be a little bit
Mhm.
bittersweet. And I thought maybe weird, but at the same time, maybe like you guys are all kind of cheering for you because at least another ATT guy is in there. So I guess what's your relationship to the thing that you had to take this guy's spot, but it's still the same team.
Yeah. So it is that bittersweetness, like I would never want anyone to get hurt. Like even my worst enemy, man. Like it's crappy to get hurt. It's such a personal feeling. Um, it's so hard to build back up from it, but it's part of the game. And to make things a little funnier, I blame it on Shoeface too. If Shoeface would have got a first round finish, he would have been up on the bracket. I wouldn't have been dealing with this mess that we're dealing with now. Seeing two ATT guys in the finals. It's just a joke. Nothing wrong with finishing the guy, but it's Shoeface's fault. No, it's weird, man. In the beginning, when after the second round, I noticed Omari's nose was all bloodied up. So in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, maybe I'm gonna end up fighting Shoeface in the finals, and then it ended up being vice versa. Shoeface is out, Omari's in. Um, it's a cool feeling. At least we know there's gonna be an ATT guy in the finals. My dad, he's one of the co-founder of Eight American Top Team. So for me, nothing's ever bigger than the team. Um, you know, the fact that there's going to be an ATT guy in the finals, I'm very happy with that. Of course, I want to be in the finals. But at the end of the day, I think this is a good problem to deal with. We're both making money. I love Omari. I've trained with Omari so many times. It's ridiculous. Um, but man, this is just the way it goes, and it's not Burger King. We can't have it our way all the time, you know.
That's so true. Yeah, and that just goes to further show the depth. I was gonna go into that as well, like you said. So you replace an ATT guy, now you're facing an ATT guy in Omari.
Yeah,
Now, in talking to Shoeface before, he said that him and Omari were like primary training partners, and we're just going to continue basically doing that just because it's what they were used to. So, I mean, you
yeah,
just said, hey, I've gone with Omari a lot as well. I mean,
Yeah.
would you consider him a primary training partner? And what did you guys do? I mean, did you guys just have to come into the gym at different times, or you got a pretty damn big facility there? I imagine you could just stay on
Yeah.
opposite sides of it. So, what arrangement did you guys make, if any?
So it's funny because the way it worked out, like you said, ATT is such a big facility. We have tons of coaches, tons of training partners. The only difference, really, is we're not training together. But that's really only it, man. His Muay Thai, his striking coach is actually not that it's a different coach. He uses somebody else more, and the person that I use, it's funny because they both come from the same Muay Thai team, but I have a different Muay Thai coach than he does. That's the beauty about American Top Team. Our boxing coaches are brothers. Omari has one of the brothers that he's always worked with, and I'm working with the other brother. If anything, those guys are more torn apart than we are. Like two brothers having to coach each guy's fighting each other. So to answer your question, it's nothing really changed. It's not like we are secret about things. He's training, doing his training. I'm doing my training. We still hug each other. We still, he's my brother. My Dagestanian guys, they're my brother. They're not my brother. They're my brother. So nothing's changed really, man. We know this is just the way it goes, and we come from a wrestling background. We compete a lot. This happens tons in wrestling, man. These guys wrestle each other 10, 11 times a year. So for us to go in there, scrap it out, I already know. I don't know the outcome, but I know that we will continue to be friends still.
That's
You
awesome.
know.
Is your dad going to be able to corner you, or does he have to sit this one out just because of the whole team situation?
So usually my dad is good about sitting out when it comes to this type of things. But prior to me signing to PFL, we reached out to everybody we know, and then these guys should know that this is that one situation where my dad's my dad right now. You know what I mean? He's my coach, but he's gonna be in my corner. Um, we've had this planned out way before American Top Team was even created. He's always been by my side. um, and so, I hope nobody takes hard feelings that my dad's going to be in my corner. He is the coach, but um, even cornering Omari, my dad always helped Omari, but never did his corner. That's usually Pahumpa that does his corner. So, like I said, it worked out perfect. If I was fighting Shoeface, it would have been a little bit more weird because my dad actually does his corner too. But we talked about that too. If me and him had to fight each other, Shoeface knows that my dad would have been on my corner as well.
Yeah, that to me is the one situation, man. I can respect coaches that have a conflict and say, I'm going to sit this one out. But like you said, when it's your dad, for a dad, that's your son. That's got to be the one time where I just goes, we get it, it's fine. Like we know we're all still in this together.
Yeah, I'm sure if the Russians had to fight each other and Khabib was fighting another Russian, RP to his dad, but I know his dad would be in his corner,
Yeah,
cornering against his cousin or his nephew or whatever the case is. There's just some things that you just can't change. You know,
man, I like that. That is true. Family is family, even stronger than a team.
family's
All right,
family.
so let me ask.
Yeah,
I know you're not looking ahead, man. This is the big moment, right? I mean, this is a huge opportunity for you. But are you scouting the
yeah.
other side of the bracket? Have you looked at Wilkinson and Monty and all and thought, I'm pretty sure I know who's coming out of there?
Yeah, the funny thing is, I trained with Monty during my amateur years in Arizona. He flew out from Brazil, and his Brazilian coach was out in Arizona. Ryan Bader's coach, Jai, his name is Coach Jai. So I trained with Dylan Monty for like, man, 3 4 months. This is when I was a fresh amateur. I'm sure things are different, but the only guy I never trained with was with Robert Wilkinson. And listen, man. Everybody has that fight they want. That fight that they see themselves fighting better. This opponent, that opponent. For me, Dylan or Robert. Now, I know Robert would be a nice story to have behind winning a million after beating him. He's a tough guy, and that's the type of person I am. If I'm gonna win $1 million, let's go. Let's get after the best guy. So there's no ifs or whats or it may be this or that. Now, if Dylan's in the finals, I'm taking it, but I would love to fight Robert. I think that would be a good fight. I think that'd be a good clash of two fresh PFL guys going at it. you know, and I know for a fact he'll be here next season too. You know, it would be something cool, a good story to build off. But like you said, I got to worry about my one fight, you know, here next week, and we'll see how things play out.
I love it, man. Well, it's August 5th on ESPN. It's the Cinderella story for you. I guess last thing I'll
Yeah.
ask me, what is your mindset overall going in here? Like in one way, I could see you going, man, I'm in a no lose situation here. I wasn't even in the organization. Now I'm here. Like, let's just go have fun and no pressure, you know? But on the other hand, you're like, $1 million is 2 fights
Yeah.
away from me right now. That sounds pretty damn good. So I guess what is
No,
the
man.
mindset? Is it carefree or is it dialed in? What is it?
Man, it's I'm dialed in, but you have to have that little carefree. You have to have that little Nate Diaz video. That, hey, what's your game plan? You know, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and go collect the paycheck. You know, you got to have that little bit of mentality in you. Money will never change me, man. If anything, it's just gonna make me a happier person. But I'm already happy. I got a beautiful family, people who support me. Of course, this is a new experience. Um, like after I won the fight with Martin Hamlet, you know, I did what I could do. It's crazy how the alternate, you know, I bumped down and there's nothing else I could do, you know. So what my thing is just go out there and perform with the best you could do. Just know that my fighting career is like this big compared to my life, you know. So there's no pressure really, man. It's just I'm so happy where I'm at. You know, the million, like I said, would be amazing. But you know, I'm not thinking about the million. I'm just thinking about how surreal this moment is to me, you know, and the million is just an additive to it, you know, but I want to be a world champ. I want to win the PFL. I want to win the million, but at the end of the day, it doesn't make me who I am and doesn't put all these weird thoughts in my head. You know, I'm still Josh Silveira from Miami, Brazilian parents, just the same kid that's been working at this my whole life. You know, I used to want to before it was called MMA. I was always wanted to be a cage fighter. You know, so this is just living my dream, man. I'm cage fighting, however you want to call it, volley two, doing it out. But I'm enjoying it, man. Enjoying the journey.
I love it, man. What phenomenal perspective early in your career, man. You keep that mindset. I know the successes will keep coming your way. We'll see what happens, man. The playoffs are underway. It's fun.
Yeah,
Moves on. $1 million on the line. It's a special
yeah.
thing in this sport. And you get to go at it August 5th on ESPN. Best of luck to you, man. Look forward to it.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it, man. And I'm looking forward to this nice, dramatic, intense fight that we have coming up on us. You know.